Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Tristana supplementary guide, and today we're going to be talking about Tristana with SHIELDBOW. So the typical build for Tristana generally is going to be what you see here. Actually, you know what? You have all three of the builds here. So generally, I normally think the first build is kind of the default where you go for BT. Then the alternative build is going to be going for SHIELDBOW, and there is, of course, another alternative build which is to go for full on hit, which is what the third highest ranked Tristana is doing. So you have the full kind of all three kind of Tristana builds here. But today we're going to be talking about the SHIELDBOW build in particular. So the concept of this build is actually pretty straightforward. Basically, with Bloodthirster, of course, you get more lifesteal generally throughout the game, as well as, of course, a lot of extra AD, because SHIELDBOW gives you 40 AD, whereas Bloodthirster, of course, gives you 50, and an additional 11 to 25 when you're above 50% health. So generally a lot more AD on Bloodthirster. However, what SHIELDBOW gives you instead is, when you proc the lifeline, of course, you do get that huge, shield, which can come in very, very handy. And also when you proc that shield, you get an extra 8% physical vamp. So during the duration that the shield is active, or during the duration that your Battle Fury is active for 8 seconds, you actually have more lifesteal than Bloodthirster, and you also get 15% attack speed. So overall, while I think Bloodthirster is generally the better choice in general, in certain matchups where you're under a lot of threat, like especially when there's a lot of burst damage on the enemy team, I do think SHIELDBOW, can be a very good option. Then the rest of the build basically remains the same. You have Navori Quick Blades just for the faster cooldowns. Of course, all of Tristana's basic abilities are very important for her. The attack speed on Q, the mobility on her jump, and the damage on her E, all of which are really important. So Navori is always going to be core item on Tristana. Then we have Magnetic Blaster for the additional range as well as the attack speed. Now you could go for IE instead as well, but most of the time Blaster is generally a better option because generally Tristana already kind of does enough damage, and the attack speed is a lot more useful just to get more DPS as well as to pop your bomb faster. And then, of course, more reminder for Armor Pen and Grievous Wounds. And finally, your last item slot is going to be flexible, so you could go for something like Runans, or defensive items like GA, or of course my favorite Maw, which gives you 55 AD, as well as Magic Resist and a Magic Damage Shield. So for the runes, Lethal Tempo for more attack speed and range, Brutal because you auto attack a ton, Giant Slayer to deal with the tanks, as well as Alacrity for even more attack speed. Of course, you could also go for Bloodline if you prefer, but generally most people prefer Alacrity just for the extra DPS. And then you go for Bone Plating for the defensive capabilities, and for the spells you want to go for Flash, together with whatever you need. So you could be Cleanse, it could be Barrier, Exhaust, whatever you need. So with all that said, now let's move on to talking about the gameplay. Alright, so now let's take a look at the gameplay itself. And we are right into the action right at the very beginning with an all-in against the Lux and the Varus. You can see we've done a ton of damage to the Lux. We've got Lethal Tempo fully stacked, but so does the Varus. Now here I'm not sure why Lux didn't flash, because to me it was like, I'm gonna flash forward to try to kill her, and myself and Nami, we can get the kill, but if she flashes, she's gonna survive. Like, if she flashed the moment I flashed, I think she survives, but I'm not sure why she didn't flash. That was a little bit of a weird one. Maybe she thought she would die or what, but if she flashed like a little bit late, the auto and the W from Nami would follow, and she would actually die with her and use flash, so maybe it's not the worst case scenario for her. But yeah, straight into the action level 1. Of course, Tristana is actually one of the strongest level 1 champions. But the problem with that is that most people know this, right? So most champions are not going to fight you level 1 because you can simply put your bomb on them, and if you fully charge your bomb, there isn't any champion that can outdamage you. Like, even maybe Kalista, right? But even Draven loses to Tristana level 1 in an all-in, I believe. So maybe only Kalista with the Ren might be able to win against Tristana level 1. But other than that, Tristana is definitely top 2 strongest level 1 ADCs, out of all of them. So not sure why, or it's not really not sure why, but they face checked the bush and were able to catch them out. But after that, I'm not sure why they kind of went for the all-in instead of just backing off and trying to run away. So we do get a very nice early game lead with that kill in the early game. So we're rocking the, well, not new, but relatively new, the Pengu cosplay Tristana, of course, coming from the gacha, I guess you could say, from the packs, which I think at this point most people should be able to get, because if you play regularly, even if you are not lucky enough to get the the 5-star cards like what happened to me in phase 1, as Nami takes an arrow to the forehead and goes down. Even if you're not lucky enough to get it, you can just craft it using the shards that they give you anyway. So I believe that as long as you play regularly, you should always be able to get the reward in the system, at least in its current iteration. It's not too difficult to get the Tristana, and we are rocking that. I don't think this is currently Tristana's best skin in the game. I'm personally not a big fan of Tristana skins. I think a lot of Tristana skins and Jinx skins are not really that amazing, in my opinion. I think these two ADCs have the kind of worst skins in the game. But Tristana, of course, Jinx did get the Arcane 2 skin. I forgot what it's called, but that from the second season of Arcane, that skin was pretty good. This Tristana skin is pretty decent as well. So finally, they kind of have some better skins, at least in my opinion. So, why are we going for SHIELDBOW this game, right? So we do have a lead. Now, sometimes when you have a lead, you can just go for Bloodthirster, get more AD, and try to snowball your lead from there. But in this case, the principle that I kind of wanted to go by is that since there's so much burst damage on the enemy team, I felt that SHIELDBOW here would have been a really good choice. And in fact, when you have a lead, right, you don't want to die, you don't want to throw your lead, so kind of the concept still kind of makes sense in general. Now here I just go mad and just end up dying like basically 100 to 0. Now I had a logic in mind there, but I kind of had the wrong logic. So let me explain kind of what happened there. So I got caught by Lux's snare, right? So I had cleanse up, and my logic was, if I cleanse both the Lux root and the Varus ulti, it would be better, right? Because I'm cleansing double CC with one cleanse. But this logic is completely flawed, simply due to the fact that as Varus overextends a huge amount for the kill and does get the kill on Nami, but is gonna die himself. My logic was, I can cleanse double CC, but the issue is that getting hit by Varus ult, number one, is an instance of damage. Number two, it gives Varus the stacks, right? And these two factors combined, like with the stacks, Varus can burst you down very easily, so I definitely should have cleansed the Lux root so that I could avoid the Varus ulti, right? So that's kind of like a situation that I never really found myself in, like a Lux root into the Varus ulti, and after kind of this this game is kind of lesson learned, so in the future should avoid making that same mistake, because it was not the mechanics that was the problem, it was the game knowledge that was the problem, right? Because I intentionally wanted to get hit by the Varus ulti, and that is just a knowledge problem, right? I should not be wanting to get hit by the Varus ulti, right? Anyways, we managed to kind of get it back a little bit by getting the kill onto Varus. Now Lux is in a spot of bother here. Lee Sin's coming in for the kill. I get the bomb onto both of them. Lee Sin cleans up the kill on Varus, and we get another kill. So, at the end of the day, a little bit of a goofy death there from me. Like, looks like I lost my mind. But we kind of salvage it back a little bit with the 3-1 and 1 scoreline right now, and being the most fed in the game at the moment. So back to my initial logic, which is that I still think SHIELDBOW is going to be really good, because you can see already, like, in the first 5 minutes of the game, right, there's already been, like, 13 kills, and maybe 14 now, maybe more, right? Let's see what goes on here. So here we're actually whacking Zinja, but we have to melee range him, because he's in the ulti, and we end up 1 HP here, and a Lux auto attack of all things ends up killing us, which is super unlucky. Lee Sin is really deep in. Nami trying to run away, Lee Sin trying to run away as well. Nami barely surviving, and Lee Sin also being able to get away is amazing. But we don't get away, so yeah, you can see already in the first 6 minutes of the game, there's 18 kills. So you can see this is a very bloody game. Right, so many kills going on. There's the 19th kill coming through. So my logic is that, SHIELDBOW is going to be great for this game. Like, considering how many fights there are, SHIELDBOW value is likely going to be pretty high, especially because the enemy team is very bursty. Like, Xin Zhao goes in on you and burst combos you. Akshan also wants to get a huge burst combo with his swing. Of course, Varus burst champion with his arrows, although this Varus building on hit, so maybe not so much. Lux definitely gonna want to burst you down with her full combo. She even has Luden, so she's going AP. She's gonna want to burst you down, and a lot of the times people don't realize how good SHIELDBOW actually is. Like, especially in instances where, for example, Lux full combos you, SHIELDBOW will save your life, and Lux is going to be so confused as to why she didn't kill you, because normally whenever you hit a Lux root into full combo in ADC, that guy is dead for certain. But in this case, you are gonna kind of prevent that. So here the enemy team is contesting Herald, or rather getting the Herald and using it. But you can see that myself and Nami have basically gone all of the tower plates from Varus' tower as he kind of picks up the waves and tries to clear them as fast as he can. But I would say that overall it's a relatively even trade because they didn't use that Herald to get the mid lane tower plates as well, and we also got the tower plates as well. They haven't actually gotten the mid lane tower itself up until now, so of course now positive trade for them. But Wukong is getting a bunch of kills, so maybe not as positive as they initially thought or wanted. Now here we get hit by a bunch of damage from Lux, so if we didn't get hit by that, we probably could have gone away. Varus whiffs the ulti, Nami ulti just to disengage here. Getting to a very kind of intense duel in the bot lane. Lux tries the root flash, full combos nothing, which is huge because she doesn't have her flash and her ulti anymore, and her root for a little bit as well. So there is a small window we can perhaps take advantage of if we get a chance to, but it looks like they have back, so we're not actually going to be able to take advantage of anything, at least not right then. But now I realize that they didn't actually back, so now we're cancelling our back as well. Now remember, Lux still doesn't have flash, and we can actually see Varus has no summoner spells as well, but in the game, of course, I didn't really know that. I don't believe we saw Varus using the summoner spells. I think that was some time before. But yeah, so here we are trying to just push the lead a little bit because I have both my summoner spells. Nami has heal, and on the enemy side, the only summoner spell that's up is Lux Ignite. Right, so this... Oh, well, we did see Varus flash actually. Varus flashed after Nami. So yeah, we do know that they don't have summoner spells. What is going on here? I'm getting dove by Xin Zhao. I'm trying to jump away. Nami's here to back me up. Ahri is waiting in the wings, and Lee Sin is making his way there really slowly. Not the best Nami ult here. Huge Lux route to kind of hit both of us here. And here Xin Zhao now just goes for the backline, right? He kills Nami. I try to ult him away. Shield bow procs. He kills me through the shield bow, which just shows how... I want to say how fed Xin Zhao is, but in reality, it's kind of not really how fed he is, right? It's more so of how badly we played the fight, right? Because Xin Zhao was able to dive the backline while Lee Sin and Ahri were diving their backline. The only real issue here is that Lee Sin and Ahri were only able to kill Lux, and Varus got away, whereas Xin Zhao cleans up myself and Nami and then moves on to cleaning up the Ahri. So Xin Zhao definitely did a better job at backline diving than my team. So that definitely was not really the best chain of events. I mean, Xin Zhao even ate through the shield bow and still killed me. So that is, yeah, that's rough. So yeah, shield bow definitely giving us value there, but not quite, right? Because, at the end of the day, the shield bow did help us, but it didn't help us survive, so not quite. But yeah, the concept is kind of there. Next dragon is coming up. We're trying to quickly force down this tower before dragon comes, getting that tower gold. Ahri is in trouble. She is actually dead to Akshan. And here, this dragon does not look like a good idea, right? So here, I'm hitting, but I'm not really, I'm not really wanting to do the dragon here. So we're just going to back off. Lee Sin decides to go in for the kill on Lux. Trades 1 for 1. Jungle for support, definitely not the best trade in the world. Especially when our jungler is actually fed. Like, he is like the most fed member of the game, tied with like Xin Zhao. Both the junglers are the most fed members of the game, so I don't really think you should be inting your life to kill the enemy support. That's definitely not the best play to make. So yeah, we're just gonna continue on farming. We can't really contest the dragon, especially not against that now very fed Xin Zhao, who's now the most fed member of the game. And yeah, and the main good news here is that we are kind of keeping up, right? You can see our goal, we're almost at 9k gold, so we're kind of keeping up with how fed other people are. There's not like a 3k gold difference between myself and like the most fed member of the game or anything like that, but we're definitely not in the best of spots. So here we're trying to force down this tower using the bomb. The wave, however, evaporates, and Wukong is in very deep. Tries to escape, but it's not gonna happen. Lux again tries the flash root, but it doesn't really work, or the root flash I should say, but it doesn't really work, so this is really awkward. Varus whiffs the root, so does Lux. Xin Zhao comes in from the side. Shield bow saves my life here actually, because without the shield bow here, I would definitely have died. Like, you can see Xin Zhao instantly ate through the entire shield bow and knocked me out of my jump with his Q3. And thankfully, I'm able to barely escape with the help of my flash, and Ahri is able to kill the overextended Xin Zhao and pick up the huge shutdown onto him. So here Lee Sin goes in. I was trying to focus the Lux here, but Aatrox is in the way. I can't exactly ignore him. I don't want to dive into the back line behind the Aatrox, so I think I'll die afterwards. After I kill Lux, I'll probably be the one dying instead. So decide not to make the risky play. Now I see enemy cooldowns are down. I try to jump forward and try to do something, get some kills, get something done. Nothing much is getting done here though. Aatrox is 1 HP, so is Lux. Now here, I thought that this wouldn't kill me. I'm really surprised that this killed me, right? Because my impression generally is the Akshan ult kind of trash. It doesn't do that much damage, but I guess it does, because even though I was at 2/3 health, the Akshan ult just one-shots me, which as I said, I was really surprised by. So, I mean, obviously, if I knew, I would have just hit the Hainami, who was full health, and still is full health, actually. But I thought I was fine, so I just went for the fruit. I'm like, you know what, this ain't gonna kill me. But yeah, I guess it's just like Akshan is not a champion you encounter very often, and I just didn't expect his ult to do that much damage. I was genuinely just so shocked in the game itself. Now, unfortunately, that means that we cop another death, and another couple of seconds we're not on the board to do any farming or any damage. So we are slowly kind of getting an ugly KDA. We're now 3-4-3. Now just trying our best to maintain our farm and, you know, get to our item spikes. We're on the way to Magnetic Blaster, already halfway there, picking up the wave, picking up the jungle. Just trying to find anything. You can see 3 people are mid, so I'm probably going to push another wave here. Now the issue here is that Baron is up, so you don't want to stick around in bot lane for too long. You can still see 4 people mid. They don't know where Lee Sin is, which is probably why they're not going right to Baron. Alright, so here I believe I've gotten enough for Blaster, so I back for Blaster. We do have bot lane prio now because of my push. And this of course means that if we contest Baron, the enemy team is going to perhaps lose, you know, tower. So here, enemy team does start a fight at Baron. They were on Baron, and my team is not here to interfere. We're just kind of soft contesting right now. Now Lux steps up way too far, gets one shot by me. Now I'm just going to use my range to kind of hit max range here. Xin Zhao goes on top of me. My shield bow procs. I flash away. I'm able to finally take him down through some good kiting. And yeah, you know what? Out of nowhere, we just win that fight. You know, 4-0, 5-0, and the game just completely swings on its head. Right, we've just taken out the entire enemy team off of a really bad play now. So I want to kind of highlight what the mistake that the enemy team made there, right? So as we all know, jungles are full of choke points, right? So you to win team fights, you generally never want to be the one walking through the choke point if you can help it, right? So the best way for a strong team or the winning team to throw is to all funnel through a choke point. So you can see there what they did was they were doing the Baron, right? So it's our job, like it's my team's job, to walk through the jungle choke points and contest the Baron. And when we walk through the choke point, they can turn on us and kill us, or they can rush the Baron, whichever is better, right? But in this case, they peeled off the Baron too early and they turned around to attack us. But in doing so, all of them ran through the choke point, and they did so not in a very synchronized manner. So Lux came up way too far. We one-shot her. She's out of the picture. And then you have, I think it's Aatrox and Aatrox, Xin Zhao, and one other person coming through the choke point as well, allowing me to reposition and free hit while my whole team kind of attacks the funnel as well. Like Ari throws her Q in the funnel, everybody gonna get hit by Q, so a lot of extra damage that could have been avoided by the enemy team. And so they take so much damage that they end up losing the fight. 4 people die, and then Varus gets run down and dies as well, and then we get a Baron, and now you can see the game is completely changed. Now we are the ones in the advantageous position, and we went from even in goal or slightly behind to now 6k gold ahead, because obviously Baron allows you to take a lot of towers, allows you to get prior, even steal enemy jungle, you know, things like that. Here you can see we just blast down a tower, being Tristana. Tristana's an incredible tower taker. Now here you can see we don't want to jump in and play reckless. We want to max range, just hit whoever we can, and at this point, level 13, no one can compete with my range. Just look at this. I'm blasting Aatrox, he can't even reach me. And yeah, here I'm just blasting Lux, just having a little bit of fun with it. Blasting. I kill her basically on the steps of the Nexus. Getting the reset. Let's just kill Akshan as well, why not? Unfortunately, he repositions and I blast him into the Nexus instead. Let's kill Xin Zhao, why not? We're just gonna blast him into next week. There goes Xin Zhao. Here's Akshan trying his best to defend. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. We kill Akshan as well. And there we have it. That is gonna be the end of the game. So thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.